What's going on, YouTubers? Welcome to another video. Today we're going to be checking out two statues from Darkside Collectibles. Darkside Collectibles has shot up a ton of pre-orders. They've done Dante. They have like a 3-year-old Arnold on bike that's still up for PO on Sideshow's website. That's $2,500, which I've previously done a preview video on, still not released. And now we have a T-1000 1/3 scale. Now, a T-1000 1/3 is something I have wanted for a very, very long time. And of course, a T-800 Arnold, which they've also already shown off, and they've also done a Sarah Connor. So they're doing the three main characters from T2, which normally I would be buying these. However, I do think they've done a terrible job, if I'm honest. I showed my wife this photo, and she was like, that looks horrible. That face looks like it's outdated, and this is a brand new pre-order. The sculpt that doesn't look like Robert Patrick right there. The hair looks terrible. The material looks terrible. It's not translucent resin. Now, concept I like. I like the base. I like the pose and the switch outs. Although I think it looks like he's wearing boots. And I'm pretty confident he just wore shoes, not boots in this. So that is wrong. But the biggest miss is that portrait. I'm just not digging it. His forehead feels too big. The hair looks bad. His face, this jaw is off. The ears look funny. It looks... I'm sorry, but that's like a 3 out of 10 head. I mean, good God, look at that. That is horrible. I want to like this, but I just can't. That face is just terrible. Even the outfit's just not super impressive. I think this looks like something Sideshow sculpted from like 7 years ago. Yeah, and he's definitely wearing like boots. His hands are just like the face. Now, it does come with this option for the liquid metal finger coming out, which I think is cool. Although I think the other one is actually better. I'd probably do the liquid metal in this hand, and then this hand for that. I think that's probably better. Now, as far as I can tell, this company doesn't listen to fan feedback, so regardless of what I may say or others, as far as I can tell, they're not a company that listens to fan feedback. So I don't think there'll be any changes, but for me, this is a huge miss, especially at this price tag of $15.99. Granted, Spec Fiction is doing free shipping. That's where I'm at. But I still think this is a huge miss, in my opinion, especially for $1,600. You look at an equivalent statue from Prime One Studios, you're going to get a Blitzway with an immaculate sculpt and paint job for less than this, with more switch outs, better bases. So, yeah, just a huge miss, in my opinion. Although the likeness is not as apparently bad when you do the liquid metal version. So the liquid metal is just the same sculpt, it's just painted completely chromed. Which I guess is kind of cool, but I don't know if I'd want an actual full-blown statue of this. I like the general idea, but I think, who would buy this? Maybe, I guess if I collected Terminator only, then I'd consider having, both. But I'm not a Terminator only, and I'm only saving my collection for the absolute best. And, of course, I'm actually out of Terminator space, so for me to get something, I'd have to sell something. I don't think it's worth, selling my T8, my T800 bust for something like this. If they improved that head sculpt substantially, made the costume look a little bit better, I feel like it just isn't cutting it. Changed the boots to... I'm very confident. Let's Google this real quickly. Alrighty, so in some scenes, he does have the pants going all the way down, and then it's just the bottom of the foot. But towards the end, where I guess this is the scene, he actually does have boots. I did have to pause this to see that. And, for reference to the likeness... here's, the T-1000, in case you guys forget. So a young Robert Patrick. So he does have a big forehead, I won't lie, right here. And the hair is, it's decently sized. I still think Darkside is off. You compare this and then that. Maybe I'm being too harsh. I don't know. But I'm just used to more hyper real statues. When I look at this, it looks like a sideshow statue. Something where, I mean, it's good. Obviously, I couldn't sculpt something this good. But when you're paying $1,600, you want the absolute best. And I like the concept. I like the base. I like the general idea. It's 28 inches tall. I just wish that portrait was a little bit better. I wish they'd use translucent resin. I think that would actually help substantially, because that sculpt, the polystone look, it just doesn't cut it for me for 1/3. Prime 1 uses translucent resin. It really helps. Like with the red Sonia, for example, it looks fantastic with ash and whatnot. So, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Am I being too harsh on this, or... I'm sure the Terminator license is very expensive. I still think I would love the idea to own this and the T-800 Arnold, which is not a battle damage version. What I think would also work is if you had this next to the Queen bust. That would probably look really good. Now, I never was able to purchase the Queen bust. It's simply too expensive, too hard to get. So I was unable to get it, unfortunately. I do have the T-1000 Pure Arts bust, though, on PO. So that is a life-size wall mount, like, head bust with the finger. So I do have that on PO. But I just don't have the space for something like this. And I think if this was priced cheaper, I would be a little bit more forgiving on the sculpt and the paintwork. Just for $1,600, I'm expecting more. If you go to, like, Prime 1's website, and we check out, for example, like Peacemaker, and I just finished this TV series, fantastic, by the way. This statue, granted, the base is smaller, but I feel like the overall costume is, more in it. But look at that head sculpt. So much better. The eyes, the skin, looks much more realistic. Like this looks like it came out of the frickin' show or the movie. Like, absolutely fantastic work by Prime 1. And it has some switch outs. And look at that price, $1,400. So $1,400, $1,600. So $200 more. And this one does have a slightly few more switch outs. That one only has like 2. This has 2 hands each. And the base, I mean, this is just a big thing and then a railing. This base, I would say the bases are somewhat comparable. This is 31 inches tall, so it's obviously, 3 inches taller. I would say the costume's a lot more going into the Prime 1 sculpt. So, this is what the type of level of detail I'm expecting for, this amount of money. I wish if Blitzway did this, it would be far more impressive. So that's what I'm getting to. I think it's overpriced for what it is. If this was priced at $1,000 or even like $1,100, I'd honestly probably buy this. Knowing what I'm getting. But for $1,600, I'm like, I don't know. We don't even know an edition size either, looking at it. TBD. Yeah, I don't see any edition size. I'm guessing it's 1,000 though. Granted, this is the only T-1000 1/3 we have. We don't know if we're ever going to get another one. That's the thing as well. And for me, Terminator 2 is one of the best movies of all time, especially for its age and everything about that movie. It really is one of the best out there. So that alone makes me want to pre-order this. I think I'm just going to wait because I don't know if this will sell out. I would love to get this and the T-800, but, it is very difficult considering my Terminator display is limited to this. And what I was going to do is get the T-1000 wall mount bust, call it a day. Because I don't really have space for anything else unless I have to sell something. So I got the 2 busts. I'd love to get T-1000 bust, but unless I move Terminator to create additional Terminator space, I just don't have a way of doing it. But for me, the most important things is the endoskeleton and Arnold. That is the most important thing. And I also don't think I'd want to do a 1/3 Arnold on this wall because everything else is 1/4. And it would look out of scale compared to the entire wall. I'd have to move Terminator to like over there, for example, and do like Lord of the Rings right there. Like the Sauron, for example. and then do 1/3s over there, like the T-1000, the T-800. I'd have to hunt down the Queen bust so I could have the bust in 1/3s. Hunt down the Cinema Ket 1/3 endo to have 1/3 bust of all three. I mean, that would obviously be absolutely amazing, but also stupid expensive. So for now, for me, it is a pass. I'm hoping to see Prime 1 get the license. I would love them to team up with Blitzway and do an Arnold T-1000. You know, give us the level of detail they did with that John Cena Peacemaker, because I think that one is phenomenal. And finishing the TV show, I'm like, dang. And we're getting a season 2. It tempts me more than that John Cena, honestly. Anyways, folks, what do you guys think of this Darkside T-1000? Are any of you planning on picking up? Am I being too harsh? Or am I right that this piece looks outdated and, you know, compared to like the likes of Prime 1 and what Queen Studios are putting out, it looks like a piece that's 5 years old already. You know, it's like something from like this era. It's not, you know, like look at frickin' this red Sonya, absolutely gorgeous. And the lighting's harsh on this, but you know, just doesn't compare in my opinion. Anyways, that is my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. Is this a hit or miss for you guys? Is it a pass, a collect, or whatever you want to call it? But for me personally, it's a miss. Anyways, that's it. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a great day.